Wah. Okay, only 2 seconds late. Welcome. Let's see. Hopefully you guys can make it. But either way, welcome Judd. How you doing? Always glad to have you around. Let's see. Give you guys a couple seconds. Make sure you guys are, hopping in or not. I think I shared it, right? Let's see. Just making sure before I go off on anything that, make sure we got enough people. Everyone else, all of our other friends can join. Let's see, let me just double check to see if I actually... yeah, Discord, I sent it, and Blue Sky. So, yeah, if you're not on my Blue Sky, I guess you can check that out too. Let's see. Because otherwise I've been just really busy. Let's see. Okay. Give that a minute. Yeah, I've just been so exhausted. Trying to... I've had a habit where I procrastinate. Work on my projects or my homework. Just really focus on my homework, and I get into like a state where I'm just not able to bring myself to work on it, and then it's like the night before and it's like, oh no. Where it just gets stuck on like myself not able to get myself to drag my feet to get into the, because my problem is that my main computer is in the room I'm in now, using it, and then I have a big table where I got all my art supplies in a different room, so I gotta walk across the floor of the house and then walk through a laundry room into a bedroom, basically, and it's hard for me to be like, okay, let me get up from my nice comfy chair that I have now and I'm sitting in, walk into another room, and then sit down and plop down and work. I get too hesitant and a little lazy. So, but then it's like, okay, well then I gotta work, here I go, and then it's like, huh, this is a little more involved than I thought it would be. I'm like, oh no. And then I stay up to the wee hours of the morning, and it's like, oh. The worst is, I think, Tuesday nights, where because I have like 2 classes like in the evening that like end way late, and then that's like 8 or 9, and then it's like I come home and I was like, oh, I gotta still do stuff, and it's like, oh great, I forgot to do one more class. And so I stay up to like, well, this week I stayed up to like 3 a.m. and then had to get up at 8 the next morning. So what is that? 5, 6 hours or less. 5 or 6 hours of sleep. And then it's just getting up and doing it again and just keep working and then doing more homework during the rest of the week. So this week, I'm trying to do a little better. Spring break is in 2 weeks, so I'm just trying to get everything done and just just work on it this week, and then know that I'll have next week, and then I'll have spring break. So trying to get myself to just drag my feet and just do it, because I know how bad it is for my body and self and just well-being to yeah, to like basically hurt myself in some way with that. So I got a lot of classes done Friday, of ones that were gonna be due this following week. So pretty happy with that. think I got like 3 or 4 classes done. At least I worked on 3 of those. So, feeling a little better. But yeah, just trying to sleep in tonight, this morning, and then probably tonight too. So, yeah, so just excuse me if I'm just kind of drag my feet through now. But anyway, okay, I think the music's not. I can't hear the music for whatever reason, so I can hear the music when it's in here. Boop, 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 boop. Let me know if that's too loud. It's loud in my ears, but I think I pumped it down in OBS. Pump it down just a little bit. Maybe like halfway. Because I'm not exactly yelling. This will be a pretty chill stream. Not looking to get any big. Oh, well, there's Blender. I was just trying to resize my window. And then we go back to Animate, and then I just saw like a 1 pixel wide. Ah! I'm just trying to make it cleaner. Oh no, hang on. Ah! I'm trying to go to Animate and make it wider, but I'm clicking the wrong size. Oh, because they're both gray. They're like exactly the same gray between the softwares. That's it. Let's try to do final adjustments here to screens. Okay, here we go. Whoop-a-doo. It's been a while since we've opened this, huh? Ain't that right? Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna keep going, but if no one really talks or like responds, I might consider doing a shorter stream. Because otherwise, if no one is talking back, I don't know what to talk about. I'm gonna run out of stuff to talk about on my end. But otherwise, let's go through this. So, how many people are watching? I guess I'm paranoid. It says there's 4 people. Am I just looking at the wrong chat, or is that not updating? No? For whatever reason, YouTube has like live chat that's like top chat, live chat. And now I got fan funding? What is that then? Is that gonna be empty? Yeah. Some spam my way as well, so I'm just gonna do live chat. Hopefully, let me see everything. Okay. Let's see. So anyway, let's see. So this is chapter 8. Let's make it interesting for VODs, hopefully. Sorry, this has really been lots of words. Just feeling a little different from not having people watching me. This is weird. It's like I'm just, talking to ghosts. How you doing? Please, ghosts, talk back. So this is, I animated this part apparently. I haven't opened this whole file in like probably like more than half a year or something. So guess I could just watch it just for my own sake to see what I even have. It's animated some of it. So I don't have most of everything else yet, but I have some layouts. I have the storyboards, and I got some puppet layouts. So that's good. I think I animated some of these. Ooh, I can animate. I haven't animated this yet, but that'd be pretty easy. I think I animated this. Okay, so we got this, and I think I even have the Blender file of this somewhere. I think I opened it one time too. Let me just quickly bubble blur for 1 sec, because I can open that maybe. Let's see, because that's the main kitchen there, or the dining room. Might be this one. Let's see. I'll just check real quick, just my own sake. I got the new version of Blender. I got a newer version that I'm not quite used to, so it looks like it's trying its best to load. Okay. So this is a completely different file. You can see that it's the whole scene. Wonder why the background's gone though. Sky? Oh, there we go. I was like, why there's no sky? Let me turn on the sky layer. Okay. There. Hello. Let's see. For whatever reason, I think 5.0, I just looked at this earlier. I think it was adding, oh, that's weird. This one doesn't. Huh. I was having a problem earlier with the other file, is that everything was trying to be, like, cycles based for the rendering of the shading. It's weird how this one's not. It's almost like it's, huh, interesting. Well, if I go back to the dining room one, it was like having issues where like it wasn't rendering the shading correctly. It's weird how this one doesn't though. But either way, so I do got this animated. It's a little slow to me. Try and reduce the amount of complexity. But this is how it's animated. Is that we got a whole bunch of little flat planes that are animated. These are fun little guys. So grass planes. And that's how the camera view is over here. Probably need to fix a couple things on it, but overall it's animated, so I'm pretty happy with that. Let's see. How does that actually render? How does this look? F12 render. This might not work. Actually, I have a lot more GPU or something now. Or I think I got more RAM. Looks like it's using the wrong, it's rendering the wrong version. Oh, right. It needs to swap in between. So this is going to be the good one. So everything reformed should be that. So we're going to render this and everything ruined turned off. Let's try that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have like two separate models for like the good version and the bad version. So at that particular frame, I wanted it to be the good one. Welcome. How you doing? Sorry I can't pronounce your name. Well, welcome. We're gonna try and search you up. At least I can put your name into a here. Pronounce. How to pronounce.com? Let's see. Huh. Well, I got stuck into that. Welcome, Cookie. Haven't done much. I've just been flailing around trying to figure out what I can talk about when there's not too many people watching. I'm so glad I'm streaming. Me too. I've kept it consistent. I'll move on. But how you guys doing? Okay, I feel better now. Thank you. I almost was like, should I stop streaming? I mean, it was just Judd who like was like, hi, and it hasn't talked since, so I'm like freaking out. I was like, let me swap to it. All the music's louder. Why? This is weird music for this scenario. There you go. Yeah. Okay, I feel better. Hi. There we go, there we go. Okay. Oh, now Joe's leaving. Okay, you see? That whole time. Okay. Yeah, I haven't done too much yet. I've just been seeing what I can do. Let me watch this again. Yeah, hey. So I animated a couple of shots, but I haven't done much yet. How long is this video? It's gonna be, 2,000 frames. Only about a minute and a half for this chapter. So it's just a lot of short shots, I guess. And so each of them are just gonna be a lot of work. So yeah, I just haven't worked on this. This is so weird and surreal that I'm working on this again. Because I'm so used to working on homework and midnight mirrors. That's what I've been doing for the last like year or so. I've just been focusing on just like only doing homework. So it's just been weird to be like now thinking that I can do things and not be criticized for it, at least immediately from, you know, for getting a grade on it. Just playing a game. Okay, dokie. Have fun. So yeah. Doing at school. I've been doing a lot of, I guess my longest form, like my longest amount of time spent on a class is anatomy and figure drawing. It's artistic nudity, so I don't think I can show that on stream too good. But but yeah, I spent like 3 hours in class and then a 3-hour open session figure drawing where you gotta find a time after school to come back to school to do 3 hours of new drawing, and then however long these videos that another professor created, almost animated, about different body parts. So being like, here's the calf. The calf is made out of 5 different components, and here's the tendons. You better write that down. And here's the maculagudo. And it's like, how do you spell that? And it's like, I'm not gonna tell you. So, don't think I might have to. Yeah, let me see if I can pull up some artwork from painting. What was that? Was that my desktop? Real quick. 120. Let's see. So I could open this. Yeah, let me change the name real quick. The file name. Okay, just make sure. I don't know if it's okay. It's good. It's cut off. Can't see you guys though. So I made this. This was like the first attempt at this because I did it again. This was a little quick. It definitely could have been spent more time on it. This is the one that made me stay up to 3 a.m. And then I turned it in, and then he's like, "You need more time on it." And it's like, man. And it's like, he's right. So I went back, spent another like hour or something on it, and did it again. There we go. Nice vibe. Thank you. So he basically just likes things to have more value or just have darker shades of everything. Like it doesn't want. I have a light hand, or I just get too hesitant to like make things more or less pure black. So they really get at me. I'm like, you're not putting enough paint on it. You're not making it black. And it's like, I like, you know, I guess I can see it, but it's just like, it's been annoying of just like, I felt like I got dark, but then it's like, nah, it's not dark enough. You're not using a fuller range. And it's like, yeah. So I added little clouds into this one. That's what I did recently this week. So yeah. Let's check anything else. That's the anatomy. Somebody stink so bad. Film, there's not too much artwork in that, just watching the films. Let's see. We're doing a facade thing in Project 1000. So this is my half of the facade. It's a little confusing if you only see that one. So actually, let me see if I can find both sides. Do I have both sides? Or maybe I only did those. Oh, I did them on my laptop, so I will not have that. Yeah, so hang on. So this is one side. So this is like the inside of a tree. And so the outside will be the other half of the facade. So we're working in partners for our project. So this is the facade. So my partner will work on the outside of the tree, the exterior basically, and then there's supposed to be, you know, some sort of division. And so we'll have the door basically be the one half of the dividing, you know, make a line through it. And so I made the inside of the tree of what that looks like. So it's a little nice living room, and then you go down the stairs and you get into this bedroom. So it's a little, you know, forest creature, pixie, something, little creature who like lives inside of a tree or something, like a little elf or something. Yeah, we're supposed to tell more or less a story through the environment, and then having it be on the inside and outside of a location. So yeah, we're gonna make this an Unreal Engine out of all things, to model for whatever reason. And because again, exactly model and create things exactly in Unreal Engine, we're just supposed to make blockouts, which I can show again my previous one, my individual one of my island. Let's see. Open this one. So, oops, I went to BRB. I'm not BRB. There you go. This is the, what's it? Oh, it's got both of them. Oh, there we go. Okay. This is my spaceship thing that made an Unreal Engine. So you see, it's not supposed to be fully modeled exactly. It's just supposed to be, here's a representation of like using basic shapes of like cubes and cylinders and triangles and stuff. So yeah. So that's as far as we're supposed to get with. I've seen some people like we got it on Teams where we can see through everyone's stuff, and it's like, oh, I think you know Unreal, or you know how to model, and it's like they went farther ahead to model things out. And I was like, oh, I don't think you were supposed to put every, you know, slab of wood on the cabin, you know. Like it's just supposed to be a box, and then it's just brown. Like that's as far as I expect this to be. So like I looked over and like one of them was like doing like just yesterday, like they're having like a Buc-ee's kind of like gas station on the outside and something else on the inside. But they were like, it's just watching a model like the logo of like the Buc-ee's beaver, and it was like, okay, and here's the part to like make the eyebrow, and here's the other part to make the other half of the eyebrow, and it's like, whoa. You know. Let's see. That's about it. You can just move on anyway. I want to get back on my stuff. Come on. Got this black border. What's going on here? That's that. Get rid of that. There we go. Okay. So yeah, just been really focusing on all of that. I just haven't had any time to work on this or any other projects. Like I wanted to make like a couple of different shorts. I wanted to make a Pokemon, either just a GIF or like some image or something, and I was like, man, don't even have time to do that, you know, something that would take like an afternoon. So, yeah. So I'm just spending the time here to hopefully maybe work on half a shot maybe tonight? I don't know. For the stream. Or like a half hour in, we haven't even started, so. We'll find out what shot I can do. Yeah, this is just gonna be a lot of complicated, rapid fire of a whole lot of rapid fire shots. Complicated. It's still going, so. I was gonna have like this in the previous one where Derpy and the snakes get out of jail was gonna be part of this, and then it would have been like 2 or 3 minutes, which would have been fun, but yeah, that wasn't gonna happen, so I split up in an already pretty short chapter. So this is the other half of the chapter I was gonna make. So I think I got this one. So the next one will be this one. So we could do this. I was thinking of doing maybe this way later. This one. Or is the snake and he just goes, huh? I think I want to do this one actually. Let's see. So, process is, you'll find out, is that I animate the characters. I got the storyboards, got all the keyframes for the storyboards in here. And then I got the character models here. And then once I animate them, I'll bring them into Blender and then put them as a paper sheet here and then animate that inside of the 3D world. So yeah, that's why it takes forever. So I'm doing 2D and 3D animation in this. So let's get going. So what do we have to do? So in this one, what's gonna be very different? Let me see if I have the original storyboards in here. Yeah, this is the original storyboards, I think. Is that the snakes weren't going to escape with Derpy. Like the snakes originally weren't gonna turn or like have that flip over to be good guys. The snakes were just originally just be 2 minions. Like they were written as like Snake Minion 1, Snake Minion 2 in the script, and then they're just there to get Derpy into the snake world for her to like have adventure there, and then the minions are just gone like the rest of the script. So really was just gonna be Derpy the whole time, and then she's just going and flying. Yeah. I gave him names later, yeah. I think when I was making the puppets, I think I was like, I have to name them something, so. This one is Ka, K-A-A, and then the guy one is Ice Strike. And then this one is Derpy. So, yeah. It's been so long, I don't know whether or not we made up those names together, or like on the spot or something. So, yeah, I'm not sure if Ice Strike was like a name that I came up with or not. But definitely Kaz, like from Jungle Book. Yeah. This Derpy character has potential to be pretty cool. Oh, whoa. Welcome, Kaiser Jimbo. Welcome. How you doing? Derp, derp, derpity derp, derp. Let's see. So, problem I'm seeing is that I want to connect the characters into like one. So I gotta think weirdly backwards and like figuring out that it's like I don't need to exactly for like this flying motion that I want them to have, is that I want them to kind of like bounce up and down and like fly and then move over here, and you know that they're gonna have this path where they're gonna go whoop out through the door and go, huh, maybe I should go up there, and then they flip and just zoom up. So it's like I can do that motion in Blender, so it's like, you know, I can grab the character in here, you know, and then just say whoop, you know, and then just do this to do the motion inside of here. So that means that the character in here doesn't need to move, so it's like weird. So yeah. Oh, sorry, that's my moderator was got you. Ah, yeah, that's a good timeout for that. Thank you. I read it as kneeled, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's not where we're talking about ponies here. So I need to figure out the best solution to figure this out. Because in Toon Boom, I just put like a peg, and I just peg them all into one thing. So I think I'll do. So I'll just put them together like this. Let's put it on the first frame, and then swap the layers. And then I might need to just make them one unit. So select them all, and then F8, and then say this is, what is this? This is 803 car stack, just to call it something. Obviously it doesn't mean anything, but if I come back to it, it'll be like, ah, yes, I know what that is. At least it's identifiable for me, but it's not like I'm programming it. Gonna flip it. That flip doesn't mean anything, but now that they're in a separate universe, I can now do what I want, which is weird to think about, but I try not to worry about it. Problem is that I can't see the storyboard move when I'm inside of this, so I gotta copy these into here. I think I just need to copy this layer inside of this. This is where it gets like, why? Why does Flash work this way? Okay. So we'll put a marker here, an anchor. Get rid of that. Make you the anchor. Okay. So I know when things start and end. Okay. So now, more complicated. So now I need you to have its own thing going on too. I need to duplicate the symbol. Make this 803. That's the chapter 8, shot 3. It's not go inside, but oh no, I'm inside of a different timeline where now Ice Strike and Ka and the rest of the scene aren't happening. But oh no, I don't know what my storyboards are now because they're gone too. Where do they even go in here? Yeah, so they're gone, happening there. So I'll have to copy it again, maybe to time it out. So let's pose her on the right first frame. Oh, was that my heater that whole time? So I can pose it. I got a couple different frames for each thingy here. So I got a ton of these. to be able to just grab. I want to see my snowboard. That she's kind of up there and then grabbing Ice Strike's back, middle, torso. So let's see. Hello. I love this Yoshi's Island song. That's really quiet. Does she have a bag? I don't even know. Welcome, Brony. Here now. Welcome. Gotta be here as much as I can. Right now I'm doing errands with mom and her boyfriend. Wow. Okay, well, hopefully that's fun. Let's see. Yeah, say hi for me. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, Pokemon. Yeah, that's right. Do I have a flap? I'll find that later. Pokemon Direct from yesterday? Yes. I had to go to like a 9 a.m. class on that day. So I was like, okay, let me just wake up, watch the Gen 10, you know, skip ahead to find the trailer at the very end, and then go to school. And then I was like, okay, cool. And then luckily, like, right when I was arriving, the kids there were like, hey, did you see that new guy? I don't know if I like Brown, you know, but Pom Pom is pretty cool. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't get spoiled because like immediately they were like, yeah, Pokemon. And I was like, okay. So yeah, luckily I was able to do that. And then it was fun. Like even the professor was also a fan of Pokemon. Like he's cool. So he was like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't say this during my morning announcements, but yeah, it's Pokemon Day. And we had like a midterm kind of like reflection thing. They wanted us to be like, hey, it's my other drawings. Hey, let us know if our teaching is good. You know, we really value feedback. So if you could like let us know if we're doing okay, that'd be great. And then like 10 minutes later, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's Pokemon Day. Hey, if you still got those note cards that you're writing these in, how about you also draw your favorite Pokemon on it? And then we'll have like a, who's that Pokemon thing later. To be like, oh yeah. So I was like, okay, that's fun. So I drew Farfetch'd as my favorite. Didn't take a picture of it, so I don't have it. I'll move this back. I think I can just do this from scratch. Okay. But yeah, that was fun. Let's see. So yeah, I'll probably talk about this more or less later when we'll do Pokopia. My dad is like super into it. He's like, oh my god, Pokopia, that sounds so cool. Whoa. Like he's not like into, he's into Pokemon, but it's just like hasn't been, I think it's way smaller. He just hasn't had like that same kind of feeling as me, where it's like I kind of don't really care enough for like the mainline games. I think we both kind of realized that like, this is the same game every time, you know, just presented on a different island or something, or like different environment. And it's like, you're just a kid and you go out and you find Pokies and then stop an evil organization or something. Like, okay. And then that's it. So it's like, just kind of got waited out, you know. Just got really tired of it. Just trying to figure out what kind of body arc I want this guy to have. I'm just feeling it out to be like, is that what I want? I don't know. I want it up. I'm just trying to figure out, like, maybe it should go down, or like what? What's the arc here? So, yeah, I showed my dad the trailer for Wind and Waves or whatever, and he was like, oh yeah, it looks good, I guess. Do you want it? No. So I was like, yeah, that's that. You know, like the main line wasn't enough to like convince him to be like, oh yeah, maybe I should get that. That sounds fun, you know? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Doesn't seem interesting enough or like different. Like the water mechanics or whatever kind of scene underwater is like, oh, that's unique and cool enough to be interesting as a concept. But I don't know if it can like justify buying a whole game for experience some neat water effects, you know? Okay. Can't grab car. Do the same thing to you. Duplicate. Oh. But yeah. So the problem is that with Pokopia is that it's exclusive to Switch 2. So Dad is like, hey, wait a minute. You know, but I want to play, you know, Pokopia 2. So how am I gonna do that if... Do I have to share the Switch 2 or something? Or he was like really like freaking out and be like, well, I guess I'll have to do game share. And I was like, does game share just mean that what does that mean? Is that just like the DS kind of game share where you just have a host and it's like someone has to always have the Switch 2 on or something? Yeah. Anyways, I'll remember the mini Game Boy music players. Did you watch to the end? I don't know. It feels Wind and Waves has that same aesthetic as like Scarlet Violet in some sense. It's not exactly the same, so I wouldn't put it past you to be like, yeah. Huh. Let's see. Okay. You just kind of watched halfway or something. Yeah, maybe sometime you should finish watching the direct. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it just feels like an up-res, higher-res version of Scarlet Violet. Enough to be like, is this just Scarlet Violet 2 with better colors? I don't... Like, it just seems weird, you know? Ugh. Like, have they learned nothing? And it's like, not really. I mean, it's like they just got a better budget or like a bigger budget to like do it, but then forgot to make a game that's interesting. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fun, but it's like, you just gotta get into Pokemon itself, I guess. Where it's like... I've said this before, even on, you know, even like a couple last streams, is that I don't like when Pokemon get reduced into like stats and numbers, or like, even just like some of the elemental stuff of like, you know, well, Pidgey's a normal flying type, and that means that it's, you know, it means this, and that means it has a great disadvantage against rocks, and it's like, you should never put your Pidgey out, you know, and it's like, okay. But I love my Pidgey. No! Let's see. Yeah. There's like a quote from like one of the gym leaders in it, one of the older games, was that, You know, you should be able to, like, you know, you should be able to win even with your favorite Pokemon. That's the true talent of a great Pokemon trainer, you know? To be like, wow, you fought with your favorites. You know, try not to do the most optimal strategy, in a sense. Just playing it. And that's kind of how I was playing it with, like, my first game of Platinum, where I was just like, I don't understand all this, you know, strategy and metas and all that. You know, it's like, I like Bidoof, he's funny. Look at him go. He goes, you know, he just got a funny sound. He goes, wow, or something, you know? It's like, haha, that's neat. So I was like, okay, I guess this is my best man guy, you know, he's my MVP. Gonna send him out and everything just because he's funny. You know, more than, well, you know, he has a disadvantage and you can't win if you're using this guy. I guess I play like Ash. I need a Brock or something to tell me like, Ash, don't use your Pidgey against the against the Graveler. You will have a strict disadvantage, making you will not be able to win. And I was like, oh yeah, you're right. Let's see, I'm just trying to still figure out how I want to do this. That's pretty good. Okay. I feel like I want to rotate or flip this bottom here. That's cool. Yeah, thanks, Jed. Cool. Maybe a little bit straighter. Nope. Ooh, check that out. Just remember that needs to be longer. Okay. Let's move. Something like that. Because I need them to somewhat be together. But yeah, I'll probably talk about this more in like in Play Poketopia or something to be like, I just, you know, look how much fun the Pokemons are having, you know, they're just, you know, they're not worried about like, you know, how much EV training they got, you know. Ugh. Or like just playing Pokemon Ranch or something, you know, it's like, they're just guys and they're just having fun. A lot of them don't have a lot of thoughts going in their minds. Not a dot behind that eye. Okay. It's hard to tell where I am exactly, what universe. I have to like look up here. I haven't been looking up here. It was like I'm inside of the animation, inside of the shot, inside of the character, inside of the Ice Strike character. So I can move things around like that, and I can double click to be out on the stack. I can go back outside to be, here's the stack, double click, here's Derpy, and then I can work on this. Okay. That's more or less okay. Let's fix some of this maybe. Okay. Realizing that these pretty much, they might have to be on the same puppet level, which might get a little bad. Because I need Derpy's arm to be behind. You can see like the red line doesn't, it goes beneath both of them. So they all have to be on the same puppet maybe. Which would make this a huge tackle. But if I had like some folders, it might work. Thankfully the head's one thing. Like I don't need to make the head explode. Because like this is how many layers the head has. Just for this character's head is this many different pieces. So it's only this and this and this. So this is actually not too bad. I think just Derpy has a lot more going on. So I'll go back on the stack and then expand all three of these to be exploded. So I will break apart to explode them. Add separate symbols on top of this, so then I can distribute to layers. So now here's everything in here. Add a folder. Put you inside there. I'll call you Ka. So now, basically all these parts are now separated on this stack, and I can click you, and I can break you apart and distribute to layers. Add a new folder for you. And then the trick part is going to be you, because you're going to be a whole bunch. I don't want you inside of there. Don't want you inside Ka. Want all of you in here. Okay, so I should have three big folders. And then, yeah, it's not that bad. Okay. Okay, so what I want is to move this one to be underneath ice. So I need to put you here at the bottom of you. And then I need you to be above Ka's body. That's it. All of this extra work to be able to animate it just so I can move their arms over underneath this right. This would make this actually animating a little easier just because I can now click on each of your parts now. If I did this in Toon Boom, which I'm always wanting to now, feel like why did I mean, it's what I had at the time. It did make some things easier where I can, what I've been able to do is just say export PNG sequence and it just go ahead and makes a sequence of holding images, basically like makes it look like this, like a flipbook of all the pages, and then can take that flipbook and then put it inside a Blender and then put it inside of here, and so that they can animate. So, yeah. So let's make this easier because now this is one unit. Let's go ahead and go over here. Change the head. Good thing is once I get this set up, I can then reuse this and then go on and like have this as a train to next shots. So now I am inside of the head, and that's all I can worry about. So let's make her kind of let's see. Looking for a kind of a frown with a cheek thing. I want this, but upset. That's by chewing. Let's put you over. Ah, where'd you go? Take out tongue, flip this. Okay, so I got that. So I can use that frame. Okay. Let's go back to the storyboard. I have 2 of them. So I have it where Derpy's just like closed eyes and like squinting to be like, oh, you guys are heavy. And then I think I'm thinking this middle, yeah, it has to be ice strike. That's why I set it up there. And then ice strike's like looking around and be like, huh, what is over there? And then ice strike points, and then they flip, and then they go back up, and they turn to go that way. Whoops. I was trying to zoom. Okay, so let's see if I have, I think I called them special. Special. It's been so long, but it's like right in the bite. You never forget stuff like this. Move special down below brow. Brow gets one of these. Ooh. Do you like them being up? The eyebrows to be like, ugh. Or do you want it to be more of a, like, yeah. Or is it more of a, yeah. Or like, oh, you guys are, wow, you guys are, You gotta switch it to be like, eyebrow down. Got more scrunch. Okay. Something like that. To be like, oh, you guys. Then I can adjust it. Thanks, Cookie. Something like that. I feel like it should be there. The thing is that it's covering. Let's put that there. Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought. I like that. Okay, that's that. Change you. But I'm adding the duplicate symbols in case anyone's following along. Adding the duplicate symbols because I was using the basic, like, base puppet, and so if I change the base puppet, then that changes it for everything else. Because I'm using the same, hi Muffin, like this is now separate, but I'll probably be changing it to B803's version for these later shots, but at least that allows me to not override my original base that I had. Okay. It's basically making a copy to make sure I don't go on top of my own work, which I've done, and it's like, oh no, now I really messed this up. asymmetrical. I saw a Reddit post this morning about like, did you guys notice in Toy Story 1, like the first couple of shots of Woody, like he's using it as like what it would be his T-pose expression for like his face in the first couple scenes when like Andy's playing with him, like he's just like in toy mode, and it's like looks really uncanny. Where it's like he's not posed out of his base head expression. Yeah. His mouth is hung open a little bit. Yeah, his mouth is like slightly like, you know, like normally, you know, you would pose it so like his mouth or something, you know, be like some sort of like dimple or something, to be like some sort of smile or something, to be like, But the way that the Woody one was like weirdly like, and he's just like completely flat expression, and it's like, you okay there? And his mouth is just slightly open. Ugh. It's just gross. And the reason for that is because they actually had 2 levels. It's easier in here. In 3D, you would have like a simple version of the scene so you can animate it, you know, because you can swivel this around really, really fast, you know, and just animate it. So they were losing a lower version quality looking as they were animating, and then it's like they send it out to a supercomputer to like render that frame, you know, in an hour, and then it come back and it looks, you know, like this was rendered, and it's like, oh, huh. So that they had like a separate, like really blocky, kind of like more of a broken marionette kind of like for the toys, is that all of them were like had a separate like model that then didn't represent what it would look like finally. So you'd be like trying to like figure it out and block it out, you know, doing the animation, you know, in this mode, and be like, I guess that looks good, and then render it, and it's like, oh. So I think that's the most logical I can think of is why that would happen. Or, you know, the first couple times, because it wouldn't like go in and animate and be like, okay, time to use my default pose and not touch it at all. Haha. It's just that how it would look in the basic mode. Lower quality render, not render, just like fast mode. You know, this takes a little bit of more juice to get this going. So yeah. So anyway, yeah. I can find like, there's a whole bunch of animation model. I don't know. Like what were they looking at when they were animating? Even with this one's actually higher quality. It's more or less the one that's kind of blocked off. Is that you can see like it's more like this. This kind of like broken, kind of put together modeled thing, and so they put on a higher quality when they needed it. But like the head was actually like way weirder and simpler. So, but yeah. See if I can find that. That'd be a little hard. I'd have to find a video of it or something. Exactly. Whoa, that's FNAF. What the? Whoa! Seeing the same pictures and. Huh. Where's this? See, the problem is that this is the higher res version. Like, this actually has the body, you know. This is like more of a green kind of alien soup. What's this? Ah. Ah. Interesting. I mean, yeah, this is... Oof. I was also so surprised seeing that it was like a spreadsheet with values for like the animation. Is that every joint and every bone had like the XYZ to everything. Well, okay, maybe there is some graphs, because like in Blender, Blender doesn't have the naturally without mods, maybe? I don't know. This spreadsheet? Actually, yeah, it's an evolved form where it's like it's this. And then I guess you can like open this, and then it shows you, but it's just, these are just dots, you know. This just tells you that there is a keyframe on frame 30 in the Z or the Z Euler rotation. But it doesn't tell you what value it is exactly. And so you gotta open this graph view thing. Get a little bigger. And so you get this where it's plotted on an XY, you know, graph, and it can see the values from 0 to 480 is that it changes its Z rotation from here to then change to here, and then it changes, and then it swaps to a different thing there. So see that the Z rotation doesn't do anything. Where's the other part? I thought there was this. Coin animation, Z location. There's some keyframes there where like it moves from here to here. Oh, it's this part. So there's that, there's the Z location. So it's obviously not much. Goes from like a -1 to then +1 in one frame. But yeah, so 30 years of advancement, and it's like, I guess I can tell what's going on. You know, compared to that Toy Story one. A lot more numbers. Yeah. Yeah, I can't find anything more, but that's about it anyway. So yeah. Okay, now we're back in 2D mode. Let's finish drawing this. Let's make this all nice and pretty. Let's put you down here. Okay, how you guys doing? I know it's been a long week for me. It was actually pretty short, all things considered. Just been really trying to focus focus on homework and do nothing else. So it's like when Pokemon came up, I was like, okay, cool, something different and interesting. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'm not really caring enough about it to be like, yeah, you know, I guess Cookie only watched like the mobile games announcements and stuff to be like, yeah. But one of them was like, you get 3,000 diamonds just for logging in. And I was like, okay, great. Just gonna check. Yep, it fills. Yeah. It's passing. Eventually the spring break will come and I'll be... One of my teachers was like, yeah, use the spring break as a way to take a break. Like, you might want to, you know, do a little bit, but don't try and over-obsess of like spending the whole time. Don't spend your entire time, you know, basically trying to do homework or, you know, practice or really draw too much. Use it as an opportunity to just really take a break. try and do that. I might do some drawing, but it's like, might just be something like this where what they would call, you know, fan art. More than actually trying to learn, I guess, anything. Trying to learn. Yeah, the anatomy teacher was like, yeah, maybe have you tried, like, you know, drawing and like trying to how about you try like tracing on magazines or something, like find a fashion magazine or something, or just try and just draw people. Try and get some more experience with that, I guess. And it's like, I haven't done that, so I still haven't done it, so I will practice with something like that. Okay. These look backwards. Let's see. Nope. Okay. Good thing about this flash stuff is I can literally just take this and then move this around. Done. Not trying to draw with brushes or anything. So I'll need you here, and need you here. It's gonna be way longer. I need all of Ka to be lifted up. Ugh. Too bad I can't click the folder and then select everything. You gotta literally go in and select everything there, but the problem is that the arm is in there. Just gotta deselect that. If I can. There. Move her up. I have to redraw this. Okay. Okay, so we definitely need to go up there, and then go down. But yeah, just been so tired recently and trying to get things done. Oh, it's hard to prioritize where it's like, you know, I really would kind of want to do my fan art, but at the same time, it's like I have some pretty low scores. Like my overall grade in one of my classes is like a C-, and it's like I need to figure out how to do things better. I gotta spend more time or just do a little better on this. So, luckily that's, you know, only a midterm, but it's still like, that's my midterm. So I need to really figure out how to do this. A lot of that just comes down that I don't really know how to paint well with gouache. So a lot of that is like, just struggling to paint, and it's expected sort of to be like, yeah, I should already know how to just paint with gouache, and then, you know, now you're learning specific things like skyward shifts and perspective, you know, and moving on, you know, with my studies more so than, wait, how do I make brown? You know, not trying to fumble with all the basics, I guess. Like, I should have already figured out how to do that within like 3 months of not knowing how to do a paint with gouache, you know. I think it's your first time using this this medium. You know, after 4 months, you know, you should be good enough to just paint, and you should just be able to just go, you know. So now you can do more complicated stuff, right? I would say not quite. And I would say that I have a hole in my drawing. Can't see. Usually it tells me if I click where the area is where I can't see. Just gonna move it over, trying to move it over. Ugh. Where's the hole? Huh? So usually we're like 2 double up. Ah, we're 2 little dots double up right there. Okay. Yeah, see? These aren't connected. Bonk. That are connected. Yeah. Beep. Yay. Don't like how it adds more points. Like I get very specific with where I put my vector points. And then it's like leaves me more room to fiddle. So then it makes these weird curves I don't want. Okay. And whatever's going on here, it's like, no. Stick to the script and just that. There. Ugh. But yeah, hopefully it'll all be worth it with my studies, is that eventually be able to do this for a living more than what I was doing of like making labels for trophies. Which I'm considering to go back to that for like a summer job. And it's like, yeah. I don't know. They definitely really wanted me back when I left. So they were like, hey, wait a minute. Realize that they were just a skeleton crew. It was like only having like 2 main 2 other main artists. And then I came in and it's like, oh cool, now we should have 3 people to be able to do all these tasks now. Oh, that's awesome, you know? I'm sure that was just a relief to them. And it's like, oh wow, we can get almost 3 things done at once a day. Wow. So then I left and they're like, oh no, like they realize, please, please stay. Like we actually need you. And I was like, no, I need to learn so I can do jobs that are slightly more profitable than you, hopefully. And I'm sad like they were having money problems anyway, so it's like, yeah. Or they were just not letting me spend the time to do my work. Because I've said this before, like I wanted to like have some time to work on a lot of a bunch of projects. And like I emailed the boss and I said like, hello, I see that, you know, based on what I have, I believe I will need a couple more extra hours, you know, to be able to get this all done. And then he replied my email and said, I cannot allow that. I will not grant you that time to be able to do your work. And I was like, oh, what? Oh, well there we go. Hello, woo, yeah. Welcome, legendary. Wordy Eddie Critter. Wow, hello. How you doing? And who's Mix Up now? I don't even haven't seen you chatted yet. Welcome. But it could also just be random people that aren't watching the stream currently. Why can't I want to fill this with yellow. But how you doing? Yay. I am making a snake stack. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out what I need to do now to fix this. Because they look a little weird. Okay. Welcome. Because I screamed hello neighbors. Whoa. Ah, yeah, that's why Mix-Up subscribed. Not for any other reasons. And you just up to it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, if only if it was that easy, huh? Okay. Get in there. This might need a little bit more work. Try and get closer to my vision. Let's see. Yep. I mean, it's not much, you know, for one of those streams where I can have enough time and energy to look at you guys, you know? Do you like to look at other streams and be like, huh, there's like 3,000 other people here? You're not reading my comment. And I was like, what's the point then? So, I'm here for you. So I got plenty of room for you guys to talk and for me to care. Yeah. If I have rules, you know, just don't be a jerk. Had another guy come in who said something mean. And I was like, nope. Not gonna respect that. So, yeah. Okay. I do got some stream rules in the description. So, that's all I ask. Yeah. Let's see. Welcome, Sheen, Sean, who knows? Welcome. Ooh, you're an animator? Okay, from 2010? Wow. You have the Trixie Lunamoon EKG flash puppet. If I could even find it. I don't usually give them away too often. Usually I like to vet to see like what kind of content you'll do with it. You know, I just get scared of like, if you guys start making content with it, and it's like, hey, thank you Yoshi Greenwater for providing these puppets that I'm using, and you know, I love these puppets so much, and then I'm gonna make this kind of content, and then it's like not family friendly, and it's like, and thanks Yoshi Greenwater for supporting my art, and it's like, I didn't, what? No. Like, I feel if I give it to someone who's gonna do something like that, and then it's like, it makes it seem like I supported that in some way, you know, and be like, well, that's what, you know, you gave me the puppet and then I made this, and so, you know, you agree with all the statements that are in the video, right? And it's like, what? No. That's not what it means. So I just want to avoid that as much as possible if I can. So I think that's why on Deviantart you probably came from there. Why I haven't really given a direct link, so that's why. Stupid Flash giving me problems. That's what's going on. Look at her go. She's so squiggly now. But yeah, I'm doing good. Just had a rough week or so. Doing good now. Just always trying to survive. Yeah, what's that meme? Just next objective, survive. So, that's where I am. Thank you. Oh, cute cowboy character. Thank you. So that's the reason why I'm not gonna just directly give it to you as the explanation that I just gave. Sean, did you subscribe just to make me... Oh wait, no, okay. You're Colin. Thank you, Colin. I should read better, huh? There you go. So yeah. Those are the reasons why I'm not gonna just blindly give it to you. And why I haven't given it to anyone else really either. I don't think anyone has it. There was a person like a couple months ago who also asked, like, hey, can I have the dazzling characters? And I was like, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you stand for. What do you, huh? What do you want with them? And then they were like, yeah, here's my script that it's in progress. And I was like, oh, so you don't have a script ready? If you don't have a story, how are you gonna animate it, you know? So I was just trying to like follow up on them and be like, do you have the story done yet? You know, you can't exactly animate until you know what you're gonna do, you know, for like storytelling. And I was like, yeah, let me know. So, and then he updated saying like, yeah, I got a couple more pages, and it's like, okay, great. Yeah, I'm still not gonna give it to you until you figure that out. So, yeah. So I don't know. So I'll ask you, do you have a story, or what kind of... Do you do comedy or drama with your stories, Sean? If you're listening to what I'm saying, it seems like you're not. It seems like you're ignoring me, so I don't know. I'm less liking it now to give it to you now. You know? You just gotta keep spamming that over and over. Don't really feel like it then. Somebody's not listening to what I've been saying. So I will kindly ignore what you're saying there. Okay. It's looking okay. Just never really get happy with when I'm drawing these. I think it's just flash tools. Like, I want it to look one way, and then it's like, God, what is going on? Okay, but that's good. It isn't Flash so outdated anyway, and it's like, why would you need Flash? Like, the whole thing with Adobe stuff too, of them being so anti-consumer, of like, Adobe's so bad. That they're like, that they had an email, you know, that they just randomly sent out saying, hey, you know that product you've been using that, you know, you subscribed for Adobe Cloud for? Yeah, in about a year it'll be unusable, so you better back up your projects or else you'll lose, you know, access to this program and all your files. So, yeah, there's a little heads up, you know? And it's like, what? What do you mean you can just do that? What do you mean you can just deactivate an entire product that people actively use? Just because it's, you know, on the falling end of trends, and it's like, you know, Toon Boom and Mohos and TV Paints and all those are better. And it's like, that doesn't mean you have to actually give up, because you still have an audience and you're still like modularly updating it every couple years or so with features that Toon Boom had for like 10 years ago. Yeah, once they went to like Animate, they started to like try and add features, but again, like all those features are like things Toon Boom did like way before. Oh, I was like, I might delayed YouTube stream monitor. Okay, I just had like the little derpy wave. Okay, it's more or less close. Obviously, I can still go back in and change things. I think I'll move on just for now, just for time. Which means I can move on to seeing what I can do. Huh. I'm trying to think this out, because I want them, the animation is I want Derpy to fly, and I want this to have this kind of bopping up and down, which in theory I can do in Blender, so I'd probably just focus on actions that need to happen. And the action is that they're flying, and then right around here, probably need to slow this down like a lot. Like this is only like 1 second, so I don't think it's gonna take 1 second for them to come out of there. So let's actually try that. Let's try setting this up in Blender and then animating it inside of Blender just so we can get that experience. And then timing it out and then bringing it back into Flash and then animating it in 2D and then bring it back to Blender. Okay, so what I want to do at this point then is that I can make it just a single image, I think. Well, hi Star Study, how you doing? Didn't see you there. Have you been, where have you been? Okay. Oops, there we go. Just for now, I'm gonna delete the keyframes, make it 1 frame. And then, I guess it does make the file open. Well, I need it anyway. So we're gonna do export PNG sequence. Okay. Don't know where I put them, or where I should put them. I'll just put it on desktop for now, and then figure it out. So this is 803 char stack. Yeah, hi. I like making it, how much is it? It's 1,000 pixels tall. Yeah, let's go flat 1,000. That's 11,000. Let's try that again. 1,600 pixels wide. Export. Okay, so now I have an image of this. So now I can go into Blender and open the scene. And then we'll save over this. Actually, it's open. Yeah. Let's see. I thought things was tomorrow. Okay. Well, I guess March 1st. I guess there's probably some stuff there. Let's open this and load it. Okay, we're loading. Maybe? Or do we already have it? Is this it? Where's Derpy then? Hang on. No, we didn't open. Open! Open says me. Open... this? Is that right? It's close enough. Okay. Okay, so now I will save over this as chapter 8 shot 03 blend, save as. Okay, just to show what I got because I gotta open more stuff. Sorry. So here's, I think, one of the last shots from chapter 7. So that just kind of pokes back in the door. So here's what that sort of looks like from different perspective to that. She's just a sheet of paper. So now I got this. So let me turn some of this. It's been a while since I've done relationship lines. There you go. Okay. So, okay. So definitely move the camera back. X. Looks like these, yeah, this is what I mean. It seems like some of these got broken textures, but the textures are here if this loads. Let's get out of you. How do I get out of you? I'm in the derpy void. Get me out. Yeah, I'm stuck. Problem is that it was stuck on this new thing that it added. This is what I mean, like it added these extra outputs and light paths and disable shadows, and material output was set to cycles. If I set it to Eevee, then it works. And now it works. At least that part, this part works. And then I do it on the candle itself on this. What if I could do it in here? Probably not. I gotta go into here. Into node view. And it set the material output to Eevee. And now it works. Why? I don't know. At least this works now. Oh, she's turning pink! Ah! I think that's when Blender wants to... is either having trouble finding or showing or something. I'm not sure. The left here is what the camera view. This is the camera view, and then the right is just able to orbit all around here. So what I want to do is I'm gonna get rid of this, or this just needs to go away. The character. So there's a shadow and a character. I think I'm just gonna add a new plane and then make this the new character. So what I can do is rotate this by the Y. There you go. And then we'll add the picture that we added. For some reason I'm still in the derpy void. Get out of the derpy void, man. Hope they didn't change what button is to get out of here. Because I kind of want to see it. I want to see what I'm working with. Oh yeah, it's a new thing. It's this, which is where my new plane needs to be in characters, and it needs to be the car stack. Okay, and we'll add a new texture. Call this the same thing. And we need to add, instead of a color, or this kind of roughness and stuff, we can turn roughness up. I need to add a image texture, because it's part of my flash animation. So the color is the base color, and we need the alpha from that picture too. And then I open this and find that picture of them, and then that should be applied. You can see it's being applied here. So this is that. I think I need to, I want it to be flat. What do you got? You got a 0, 0. So yeah, so there we go. Yay. It's a little rotated. Could change. Specular. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Could change the rotation of them in the here. Change U to be 90. Change Z to be 90. And there we go. Aspect ratio is off or too wide for my square. So go inside of the object, change the Y. I'm sure there's a more mathematical way to figure this out, but I just gotta eyeball it. And in theory, the Derpies should be roughly the same size. So maybe a little wider, maybe a little bigger. Should be a little bigger. Okay. Probably not too big because then they can't fit through the door. So, okay. Door is animation of it closing. So I can get rid of this animation with it changing its Z rotation from this pivot point on the right side. That deletes it. I want to get rid of the keyframes in here. Keep it open. And I can change this angle. I had to rig it specifically to do this. Otherwise it would have flipped from the middle. Like this. Or it's changing it from exactly the middle. So you can change that. That might need to be rotated just a little bit to kind of fit inside of here. Like that. Okay. Let's hide the other character. Okay. So now we can kind of play and see animation wise and add some keyframes and try and plan it out. So let's see. So we have him over here. Got this new dot. Add and replace, add only active key in set, later recording. Okay. So you'll be here, and then the animation that we want is this poking out and fly off. Have some time for ice to kind of like look around, have them point, and then they flip, and then they fly off to the right. So they'll be here. Let's keyframe all of this. Won't need scale, but we need some rotation. Let's change this to be even. Okay. Everything changed there. Another keyframe here to keep them still for a couple frames here. And then basically just kind of get them out to here. And so now they're moving here. So if you play this back, it's a little fast. So that's about as fast as this was actually. Yeah. Huh. Let's get a second. Let's make the whole shot longer. That's about 5 seconds, a little bit less, about 4 seconds. And then it's just kind of playing around with this. And then sometime here. And then I can copy this onto here, make them still. And then they flip. So we need the Z to flip here. So at this point, they just fly out. It looks around, points. And then here to here, they flip to there. And then all the X and Y location copy onto here. That's just a Y. I need the X. onto here, and then here to here. I need the positions to then move them to the Y and Z. That might take a while. And then that'd be the end. Okay. That's basically it. So now it's just fine-tuning this and saying like I might need a breakdown just so that they can be more or less not inside of the door at this point. Fix things as I go. You also kind of go up for some reason. Let's find that. The Z location should also be the same between here and here. There. What? Let's see. Something's not adding up. So you want here to be there. You can see some easings happening here. Okay. I want it to be more Y. So let's grab the Y. I'm going to move this up. Want them higher. Fit around there. That's good. So this shot will end around 85 then. Let's go longer. Gotta bring it back out. I think I want the time here to be longer. Or I want him to kind of like look around. So I need more time for that. So there's supposed to be some sort of performance on Ice Strike to kind of like have a kind of like look around. Are we going inside the door? Yes. So we'll have to work on the X position. Do we even have that? Where's the X location? There you are. So you need to have slightly different. We'll add a keyframe here, maybe? Just so then I can move this up. So is where you can get a little fiddly with it and say, It's almost good. They almost start to clip through there. I think if these were just like slightly less. I want these two keys. Grab Y. Yeah, not quite. So I can really go through and really micromanage this to have them fit through the door. And then I think I can set this to just be a constant, and then that sets that just to be still until I need it to then change, which this can also just change too. So there you go. Let's go to the Z rotation. Where is that? So we got this. This is the time it flips. I think I want to change this to be busy. A little slower. Be like a fade out, ease out. So I can try and click both of these, and then I can center it. So I can grab this guy and then make it longer to make it more of a stretch. So go fast and then slow down. I want the last couple frames to be really not changing at all. I could add another keyframe here. And then make this higher. And then give this a Bezier between here to here. So it'll go up and slightly back down. So now it'll kind of go hello. Let's check that at speed. It's almost too apparent, so I might want to change just this one to be a little faster and make it a little bit less. And you can see like he's starting to like really muddle with this and be like, yeah, this needs need to be, you know, maybe like this. Maybe I need to add a little bit more keyframes here. Maybe this needs to be 1% different. Maybe I need to add, yeah. Could have the door slightly open. Is that a keyframe? Selected channel. Ah. Just about here. And let's add it to be like 16. Is that more open? I think I can just select these two, go into here and select it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost like the wind of them going shoosh. You know, that the wind that they kick up kind of makes the door open just that one little bit. Let's go like 17 on it, and then have it over here. Go back to like 16.5 or something. There's a keyframe here that I don't need. Get rid of that. So these back over here because I think I had like too many keyframes or something. Feels delayed, so we move it back. Yeah. It's these subtle things as like, you know, you gotta put more work into it, but at least then it feels better, you know? It's one of those things where it's like, if you don't have it, then it's like, huh, feels kind of stiff, but then as soon as you add it, then it's like, oh, well, that seems right. Let's add a new keyframe here. And just raise it back up. So it kind of wiggles. kind of like as it sets into place. Okay. Boo, 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 boo. See it there. Okay. So they're off screen by frame. I was gonna say 80. I guess not. By like 80. Let's go end the shot at 87. Let's see. Punk, yeah. Okay. Hate to live early there. Paper Derpy stream bus. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know that kind of got a little quiet on my end. Yeah, I guess you can watch the VOD to see Smutter. Not that much happened. I don't know. Appreciate it. Yeah, I hope you have a whatever you were gonna do on Sunday. Hope that happens, and I hope it's happy. Yeah. Yeah, take care. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna. I mean, after this, I was gonna have lunch and work on homework. So I don't even know when the next time I'll work on this. So this is like the only time I've actually scheduled some time out to work on this movie. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Contributing. Yeah. Just started working with you. Also working in. Oh, you're also working in background. Nice. Yeah. I guess I forget that, you know, these streams are also someone's background noise. And it's like, I'm just so rambling. Just trying to say something to fill the air. So, I appreciate it. What do we got? Should I animate the other door? This one? Is this also rigged? Nice. I can do this. Wow! So I can add a keyframe channel. That's it. Oh yeah, go ahead. I mean, what am I doing? Yeah, I'll play it one more time. I think it's like open. You can add a keyframe here. Wish it would do that. Add a keyframe here. Would it open too? Or I guess it would just kind of do that, I guess. Sounds really hard to see exactly. And then, let's see. What I can do to here is, because I got Z... Do I have Z location? I got all of this. Where to go up? Let's see. So I'm gonna have to have like an empty and then make that the up and down. I'm gonna follow through on the snakes as Derpy lifts them up upward if you're finishing their main actions. On the snakes as Derpy lifts them upward. So we flip and then probably like between here to here. Add like a couple more, maybe like a longer brief, and then like a and then have them go down a little bit to be like a whoop, like a whoop. Is that like C location? C should be blue. I think I know what you mean. Just trying to find out where my stuff is. So instead of just going up, like up, going up, we're instead gonna add just one more keyframe, location Z, and then we C. Huh. It's changing that too for some reason, but I guess that kind of works. We'll see if it works. See you next week. Have a good stream. Yeah, you have a good week too. Try and have fun. I'll change that and edit it, but that's basically, I think, what we want. Move these back. Yeah. Yeah, so Cookie wanted some sort of motion right before they take off, is that Derpy needs to try and lift spend a little bit more time trying to... Is Ka going through the ground? Yes, she is. So we can fix that by changing the Z keyframe. For something like that. Feels a little weirdly stilted and somehow. They're also rotating during this time too for some reason. Don't know what this keyframe's doing. Oh, it was a follow through. So let's move you here. Something like that. So this needs to be longer. So we move you guys and you guys over 2, 3. And let's make you what do I want? Maybe shorter? In between. Let's see. Zoom. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I think I said this earlier, is that I think Cookie wanted to know like what the names of them were, and it's like I think we came up with that also on the spot too on a stream. And I was saying earlier on stream that the on this stream that we I decided that instead of just having them just be minion 1 and minion 2 for the snakes, is that they're actually characters, which is weird. Like, original script was just like, there's these minions, and then that's just how to get Derpy into the to get Derpy to the snake castle, and that was it. Like, they're just gone. They delivered a diamond at the end, and that's their purpose. So but then once you guys like super, you know, had a great response to them and was like really interested in them, and I was like, huh, maybe I should develop them more, you know, at least just have them be around longer instead of just only being for the just to deliver it and then be done. It was like, okay, how about they still interact? Like the original storyboards, I think just had, it was just Derpy on her own, just flying. And then I had a completely different sequence here. Don't know if I still have the originals in here. Which one's this one's gonna be? Yeah. Oh, spider warning. Is that there's gonna be a spider and a mouse was gonna be Derpy's friends, that they just show up in the jail cell, and the spider here was gonna help get the diamond off to retake the diamond. So yeah, this whole point of what I'm animating now is like a completely different revision of this all. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. So now they're living on even further. Like they weren't meant to get this far. They were only meant to just kind of deliver the jewel at the end of like chapter 6 or something, and then that was it. How does this work? I want this to be the child of the box. They gotta do this, and then say parent. Set parent to object. Are you the child? Are you a child? Box is child. So that's, yeah, again. Okay. So child first, then parent. Child, parent. Okay. Don't remember names. I remember giving them hex codes without looking at the colors. Just typed up codes. Wow. Well, they certainly worked well together. It's like this great trio we got. Okay. Don't remember how to exactly do this, but we'll try it. So I added an empty box. Like it's literally empty. Won't render. Nothing about it will show up. It's only there to be a helper, guide, something. But I wanted to have a Z loop. Z up and down position. So gonna have about 1/4 a second or an eighth a second loop. Look at these keyframes. Where did I? Okay. So I can take one of them. If I move this up, both should move up and then back down. And there's some way to say make this a loop. But what is it? You select them. I remember doing this a lot. Ah, no. Let's see. Blender. I'm just gonna look it up just because I don't remember. Blender. Loop animation cycle? Yeah, how to cycle animation forever. Okay. Let's find this 1 minute video. Maybe don't say it. Mute. Okay. Oh, it's cyclic is what it's called, I think. I haven't seen it, but and then what do? Okay, you go to N. They have a different thing. What do they have a different thing? Huh? Look at the video. Just press N and add a cycles modifier. Oh, they have a little thing on the side. But it's inside of this view. Does it show sliders? You see the preview. Double dual sheet area. Oh, what was that? area. Oh, close area. Select channel key. I'm looking for a cyclic. Easing, density, blend, smooth, channel. I feel it's an F curve. Yeah, let me just go to add F curve modifier and add cycles. Beep. There you go. Now I got an infinite wave. So I added 3 keyframes where it goes up and down, and then said make it a infinite loop. Hopefully you can see that. There you go. So now it should constantly be doing that. So now that they're constantly flying. Yay! So I can now update this with just these 3 keyframes and say, what do I want to do? Do I want to make them maybe wider? Yeah. Feels subtle, so I can move it up. Yeah, a little more. A little more. More. Yeah, it's only going from 4.4, 4.3.5 to like 4.35. So that's not much. And they're in meters. So it's like 1/10 of a meter or something? Half of a 1/10 of a... Yeah. Okay. So this is where, you know, you just keep adding layers and layers onto all these channels. You know, you get all these different... You get 9 channels per object. And you start adding them on top of each other and changing things and modifying it. And then you start to have a lot going on. Okay, let me just stretch. Fortunately, I think that's about time. I think, yeah. I wasn't able to animate the characters, but obviously that's not too much different from what I usually do anyway. But the next steps will be go back into Flash, and now that I got this more or less set up, I can go back into Flash, animate them in 2D, have all the motions and anything else I want to add. Have like her wings flap. Have Ice like look around, kind of like look up, and then flip his head and like look the other way. And then have him point, and then Derpy's like, oh, okay. And then they flip, and then they fly off. So, yeah. You see that this is only like, what was that, like, that's 3 seconds, so about almost 3.5 seconds. We already spent like maybe like 2 hours on it. So see where this takes a while to get these out, huh? Luckily everything else has been set up. Like I got the entire rest of the background here. So like this would take, I mean this took months to model, and then not even done texturing it. Some of these black stuff I had to change the things to cycles, and then it's set up. But yeah, I have to like individually model everything here and set that up. Obviously it's not going to be visible in the screen, but at least I can get it in case I need to save as on top of this. These will then be set up. Yay. So this is just another entire environment. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, how this turned out. You can see like some of these are just literal, you know, papers, and some of these are modeled out. I do like how the lighting render, you know, this is what it looks like, and it should look more like this, you know, with the each plane has a different value, but the way that my rendering, this is what it's gonna render as. This is how it's gonna render. So if I look at one of these, this is how it's gonna render out. Render. And it should look exactly the same. So some of these are just from them being literally hand-baked textures, where the find this is that I went in and said, hello polygon, can you be deep purple? Hello polygon, can you be a little lighter polygon shade, tone, value? I want you to be brighter, I want you to be darker. Like, I went through and said, hello polygon. I could add a modifier. Let's see if you have a modifier. You don't. I could add a subdivision surface, and that could make it rounder in some sense. Make it look a little nicer in some areas, but in others it kind of breaks and I have to go through it. But otherwise it's kind of fine. I don't really care, just as a background prop to make everything look smooth. It's kind of nice to have some sort of more or less seeing the geometry of it. I mean, I just have like this pot plant that's literally just a paper. So it'll be like this far away, you know? Or you're gonna be like, oh well, that's not smooth, or that looks weird. You know, putting it next to something 3D kind of helps soften that transition, I guess. So, anyway. When will this come out? I don't know. Yeah, it's be like after spring break, or when I get my video game done. Like, when's the snowball game coming out? I don't know. Next thing I gotta work on is my painting class, so with gouache, which I'm not thrilled about. So, but we gotta work on a pseudo master copy where we take a movie still from a live action movie and then steal all of its mood of values and shadings and tone, and take a Disney movie, like a 2D Disney movie from the previous, 70-ish years, and say, hey, why don't you use that live action tone and lighting and put it on top of that 2D, Disney movie, which doesn't have any lighting or special effects or, anything. So I just kind of randomly chose one during chose the movie, live action one. I got Logan. I didn't know it was Logan. It just had a nice city scene, like a street. I was like, that looks cool. And then later I got a Disney movie. I chose Dumbo, so I'll have Dumbo with the lighting structure of a shot from Logan. So that's due Tuesday. So I'll have to work on that, and so much more. So, but yeah, this is more or less set up with this. But yeah, I'll just go back and animate it. Probably change the timing if things need to change, but that's pretty much the whole process, more or less, of it. So, yay. Okay. I got some time here to hang out with you guys. How you doing? Whoever's left. Yeah. Okay. I'm tired. So yeah, that's about it. Next week, I think Pokopia comes out. So we will, yeah, next Thursday, I think, it's Pokopia. Pokemon Ditto runs amok. So yeah, we'll start that adventure. So I wanted to have a little break, and I know that one of you wanted an animation stream, so there you go. I'm done. Did it. Moving on. Yeah, what projects? So we'll work on Pokopia on stream. I'll try and have time during spring break in 2 weeks to maybe work on the game and maybe a little bit of the movie. Knock some of that out. Summer, I'll decide whether or not I'm gonna work at my engraving job or take a school job or something. Take a summer job. Mid-Amers is rolling along. This morning, one of the 2 animators that we have said, hey, I don't think I can work on this anymore. I had to take a leave. And it's like, you're lucky. You get to leave. I'm stuck. I tried to say like to my to the Mid-Amers director saying, hey, I would like to leave. I'm done. And then the director said, no, you are not. You are not leaving. So I said, okay, I'll stay, but on the condition that I don't animate. You know, I just want to be the animation director, you know, and hire new animators, and then just so I'm not animating the entire thing. And so he said, okay. So, yeah. So that was nice. But yeah, without me as the animation producer director, everything will fall apart real bad. It'll be so more disorganized. I bring order to a lot of it. To that whole project. Yeah. You're back to say goodbye? Alrighty, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, next week we'll do Pokopia, so look out for that. Yeah. And maybe during that we'll have my dad do game share and we'll do multiplayer or something. We could do prop hunt. That's something. Yeah, thank you. Let's see, yeah. Game, movie, homework, Mid-Amers. I have no time. I have no time to sleep, so I'm bleh. I'm so exhausted. So, but yeah, either way. Thank you. I think that's about it. So yeah, I'll work on that live action Disney painting. Gonna work on my team project as well. That's what I got left. So you remember that spaceship? So I'll be working on that with a partner to make a facade, little thing with the treehouse thing. So yeah, then that's due next Friday with the execution. So yeah, everything's really fast. Everything's like a super fast turnover. Like everything is, hey, you only got like 6 days to really work on this. All right, yeah, get an entire painting done in like 6 days. Cool, all right. Hey, you finished that one painting? How about you work on a new painting? We've had some stuff that was like, you get 2 weeks to work on it. And it's like, oh, thank you. I get 2 weeks to work on a painting now. Or a project or art or whatever, of drawing or something. And it's like, oh my god, thank you. It's like so fast, and then it's graded as if you're part of the industry, but you don't get a retake, you know. You get a retake for like, if you do really bad on it or something, or you just want to improve your score by like a couple points. But otherwise it feels like you just get it done and it's just done and dusted, and it's like moving on. It's just so quick. Yeah. we're learning a lot, just like in such bulk, you know, quick in and out. Okay, cool. Here's value, here's tone, here's hue. Okay, good. Okay, good. Moving on. Now we got this, you know. Learn like 10 different things within a month. So, yeah. Yeah. Definitely had like a lot of imposter syndrome just because, like, you know, we do a lot of group work, or at least group critiques, peer reviews and stuff, where we get to run around and see like, oh, that's how that guy did it. Oh, okay. So maybe they encourage, like, yeah, if you see a student who does something better than you, then steal it, you know, steal that technique, you know. And it's like, yeah, okay, definitely definitely will do that. A lot of it is like, how actually that looks good, but how did you actually do that? You know, I just wanna, it's like, oh, that looks so blended. It's like, how's it so smooth? Like, it has that texture on the paper. Wow. Like, what did you do to do that? And it's like, maybe it's blending, like you use a blending stick or something. Like, I don't know. It's like, I try it and it's like, oh, and it just unlocks something and it's like, wow. So much stuff that's like, I have to teach myself from observation of other students a lot of times too. Like, teachers do well, like teaching broad topics of like, did you know in 1867 the camera, you know, wasn't invented? You know, and then it's like, okay, now do your homework, and it's like, how? Like, he taught me how to make black paint with CMY like once, and that was like a 1 minute tutorial, and it's like, how did you do that? So yeah. Ugh. So yeah. Yeah. So we'll talk about more Pokemon stuff, I guess, next time. Talk about the starters, or what I thought about the trailer and such. What the future of Pokemons looks like. What I think. Yeah. Either way. Okay. I think I hear someone coming in. So, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. And yeah, we'll catch you again next time. Hopefully it'll be fun. These are always fun, right? So I'm glad you guys always come back for a nice job. Thank you a couple of guys for subscribing. That's always good. Hopefully you guys come back. But yeah, be good to each other. Yeah. Alrighty. See ya. Thank you guys. Bye bye.